PC fam. On this beautiful Saturday morning, evening, night, wherever you are, I just want to say welcome to Chill with Chill. Um, we are up here as always to talk straight hoop talk, nothing but good basketball talks today. Chill, we've had a somewhat interesting week. There's a lot of news in the NBA. As y'all can see from the title, the WNBA All-Star weekend is going on right now. We had a skills competition, 3-point contest. We'll get into some more of that. And then we just got a lot of NBA news, So, Chill. You ready? You ready for a good show today?
I told you before we got on the air, Ox, I'm hyped today. I am. I'm hyped today.
Yeah. No doubt. Chill, let's start somewhere that's just a little interesting. We don't like to keep up the drama, around here. We definitely don't like to speculate. But when in what is it? In let me make sure I get it right, because I don't want to be wrong here. But Chill, when somebody places 30 wagers in 46 minutes, all involving the same person and mostly his unders, and then that same person leaves the game with playing around 10 minutes because they have a sore foot, I don't know, Chill. I'm not too high on believing in coincidence.
I don't believe in coincidences at all, Ox. I don't. It ain't a coincidence that OJ, this blood trail from the Bronco to the house. That's not a coincidence. You understand what I'm saying? It's not a coincidence that there's a blood trail in the house after OJ comes back in the house. That's not a coincidence. And it ain't a coincidence that Terry Rozier is, for all intents purposes, got a sore foot, which he had, by the way. He had a sore foot before the game started. And whether or not you could go, let's find that out. And for somebody to place one bet, all right, Ox, I could get with that. All right, one bet, that I don't think that really means anything. 30, we had a conversation, Ox.
We got to talk.
We had a conversation, 100%. Somebody talked to somebody. Now, it might not have been directly linked to you because you don't really want to be, you don't want there to be a paper trail when it comes to you. But make no mistake about it, 30 of them tells me that there was a conversation between you and maybe a fourth or a fifth party that got back to the person who originally started this. You involved in this on some level. Somebody somewhere knew exactly what it was you was doing. And they got it to Ox, who got it to Ron, who got it to Mars, who got it back to Chill. Somebody knew something. So it's, and now we're in a space, Ox, where here's the problem that we have. We're in a space where you have paper trails like this, and then you also have Malik Beasley. Now what it does is it compromises the integrity of the game. Like, who else is doing this? Because it ain't just these two dudes. Let's be clear about that right now, Ox.
That can't be. Chill. There's 450 players in the league?
450 players in the game, right? 439 on the active roster.
Okay.
It ain't just these two dudes. These two dudes are the only ones that are implicated in it, and it's evidence that they got stuff going on, like concrete evidence that there's stuff going on. So what it does is it compromises the integrity of the game. It now turns it into a spectacle where, are these guys really, is this stuff really real? Are these guys, is this the WWE? Is this just for show? And it sucks too. But with that being said, Ox, I can't just blame the players. And you know why I can't blame the players? I can't blame them because the NBA allowed this. They wanted this whole betting thing to come into the NBA to increase business. All right, so I can appreciate that. What you can't do, Ox, is you can't bring drugs around potential drug addicts, and then now we're gonna roast the drug addicts for getting on drugs. Okay, you're the ones who introduced this. You're the ones who brought this into us.
I do have to hold the drug addicts accountable.
Oh, 100%.
You know, and I do have to hold these guys accountable. Chill. I'm with you though. I blame the league. I blame the league for being so greedy and just so thirsty to get an extra dollar. I blame the fans. I blame the viewers because they're going to Congress about it. You know, they're writing their senators about it. They want to gamble so bad on sports. You know, I mean, the state of California, just the whole West Coast was just going crazy a couple years ago. Vote for this, vote for this. We have to be able to vote. We have to be able to gamble. We have to be able to bet. They're just degenerates, you know. But I mean, and a lot of people can gamble responsibly, and so as an adult, it's like, go ahead, do your thing. But I think it's up to the league.
I used to throw a couple bucks in playing the lotto.
Chill, I got stacks of scratchers that I lost, by the way, right here up on the counter. You know, so I get in my bag sometimes too. I'm no better than the next man. You know, I'm just a man. You know, but I think it's up to the league to protect the integrity of the game and try to keep it out of the sport, because I do think that it messes it up. And then you have things like this. Now, chill. I'm an American, proud to be an American, and in America, it's innocent until proven guilty, right?
100%. But
these investigators at all of these high levels are really good at their job, chill. They're really good at this.
This is what I do. In fact,
they are the best at what they. I'm telling y'all, these law enforcement officers, once they get off that beat, when you get up here, they are great at their job. You know what I mean? So
yes,
what I fear is that at some point there's going to be a big indictment, a big roundup, similar to what happened with the insurance scams that those guys were doing a few years about with Big Baby and Terrence Williams. Was it Terrence? I believe.
What's the kid name that went to Missouri?
The kid from Seattle that went to Louisville.
Why am I drawing a blank?
I believe it is.
I know
Terrence
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I believe his name is
Tony Allen was in that too, by the way.
Yeah. Man, it was a lot of guys that got wrapped up in that. Some of them are doing time right now.
Big Baby went to jail for that.
Right.
He went to jail for that.
So chill. That's what I fear. I fear that this comes out that it's a ring of guys out there that are just tinkering with the game, you know, for an extra couple dollars. And I know we talked about it this week, and I don't want to be all in everybody's business, but it's like, y'all getting these big contracts, man. You don't got to mess up the game. You know, you don't gotta jeopardize your integrity and jeopardize the integrity of basketball in the NBA altogether for a couple extra dollars, man. I hope it doesn't come out to be something big like that, chill.
Now here's my question to you,
if
Ox.
it is, they'll find out.
My question to you, Ox, is this something, because like you just said, that investigation with the insurance scam, I don't think that was directly tied in with the outcome of games. So that kind of went away. Like it was something that we heard about it and it went away. Is this something that would go away quicker or would go away as quickly? I don't think so, Ox. And the reason why I don't think so is because, to your point, I think that this may be a way bigger problem than we know. That's number one. Number two, who's doing it is going to be an even bigger problem. Like, who do we have involved in this? And when you have stuff like that going on, one, it compromises the integrity of the game. Two, it makes the game look like, is this going on with every other? It questions not just the NBA, but it also questions all other sports, because, well, if it's going on in the NBA, is it going on in the NFL? Is it going on in the NHL? And what it's doing is it's opening Pandora's box. Yes, 100%. We already know what it is. I feel like it's opening Pandora's box. So, you know, guys like Malik Beasley, guys like Terry Rozier, who, by the way, were making a lot of money, but you find yourself in a space where you think you're going to continuously be making that money. And because, you know, money slows down, you're looking for a quick way to recover some of the money that you lost, right? So, yes, Ox, I'm going to borrow $250,000 because once the season starts, or I got my contract with the Detroit Pistons or with the New York Knicks, I'm gonna make that right back, and I'm gonna get that right back to you. My barber, who I owe, I'm good for it. I'm good for a couple of haircuts. I'll take care of you in a little while. But next thing you know, it's like a credit card. That $200 that you owe now turns into $2,000, and then now this has turned into something completely different. So what I don't want this to be is, I don't want this to open up Pandora's box, Ox. I want the NBA, I want Adam Silver, I want him to get in front of this right now
Yeah.
I want him to get to the bottom of this right now before this
Yeah.
turns. It's like a drug problem, Mox. That's how I look at it. We got to get in front of this right now before you find out that your chick missing for 3 days, right? And you can't find her. Okay, we ain't
it
at
becomes
that
a way.
stage
It
yet.
becomes a way of life.
And now it's not just something that I'm just doing every once in a while. No, now it's I need it to survive. So if we could get in front of if Adam Silver can get in front of this right now and get to the bottom of this right now, we got to do an investigation in the league. And what better time to do it, Ox, than right now in the summer and the off season?
Right. Mind you, chill. I don't like have a moral issue with gambling. Like I don't have anything like that. Like I'm not one of them dudes like, oh, you shouldn't be. I have no moral issue with gambling at all. I just understand that sometimes it goes a little too far, and I don't want. I have a problem with people tinkering with basketball games or any sport, for the gambling. That's the only thing I have an issue with. Like it's not the gambling. That's fine, but it's like can't y'all gamble on baseball or something or soccer or just play basketball? That's all I'm saying. Because chill, you got to think about it. If I'm in the league, if I'm one of these 439 guys in the league, and I hear win because my teammate is best friends with his cousin and they're talking, and I'm like, man, Terry about to give us one tomorrow. I might be tempted to tell some of my people like, hey, Terry about to give us one tomorrow. That's how it works.
Go put 100,000 on our game tomorrow. Go 10,000. Go give that to Carl, who's gonna give it to Charles, who's gonna give it to Ed, and go put 10,000 on us beating Charlotte tomorrow by 6. And I think we're gonna cover it.
Right, and I just think that's the only problem I have with because I enjoy basketball much more than I enjoy gambling. Even if it's winning gambling, it's not that big a deal because I don't gamble, a lot of money or anything like that. I don't gamble money that can affect my life. So I don't have a problem with losing a bet, in gambling. So that's why it's just not that serious to me. So
Ox, we all been I've been at the blackjack table before in Vegas. I have, I've been at the craps table before, but I know that when I go in there, I know I'm coming out. I know I ain't gonna be in here all night. I got $25, I got $50, I don't know, I got $100, and that's all I got. And I'm not in here every week. I'm not in here every day. No, I'm only in here for entertainment. I'm not doing this as a way of life. To your point, Ox, because now you got a guy like Malik Beasley who finds himself having money problems, and now I'm in a compromised situation. Now this guy Terry Rozier, where a guy is betting 30 different bets. Well, the reason why he's done that is because one or two things is going on. Either he got Terry Rozier in his pocket, or somebody else got Terry Rozier in his pocket and he going through them. That's what's going on here. This ain't just, I got some inside information and maybe this is going on. No, one of these dudes got Terry Rozier in their pocket. That's how this works. I own this dude.
That's just, it's ridiculous to me. Being an NBA player and owing somebody some money, this is crazy. Like we got.
You
I'm
shouldn't
telling
have to
you,
do that, Ox.
We talked about this before, Chill, and I'm really adamant about it. I believe that these colleges, it's especially since they're giving kids NIL deals. I think the responsibility needs to be on them to make sure that one of the mandatory classes for athletes is money management. You know what I mean? I think that needs to be a mandatory class in college. I think that these rookies need to go through like an actual course. You know what I mean? Not just a day where somebody comes and explains to them, man, I went broke because I did this and did that. Some of these dudes is fools. Chill. They like, man, that sounds fun. I want to do that too. That I think they need to do like I'm serious about like a real online course. Your whole rookie season, you're still in school. You're in school. You're taking a course on financial literacy and money management. You know what I'm saying? I think that's pivotal to the development of these young men when they're getting multi-million-dollar contracts. I think it's very irresponsible. I think it's not only irresponsible on the person, but irresponsible on the league to not educate these guys that are getting paid millions of dollars and not understand. Oh, you're a grown man. That's cool. It sounds cool. It sounds like, oh, I'm grown. I'm 20. That sounds good until you're 39 and broke.
After making $65 or $70 million playing 11 years in the NBA, you shouldn't be broke. You should not be broke.
That's
You shouldn't be.
ridiculous.
But
And I understand it's not the league's responsibility necessarily, but they should take it upon themselves. If you care about your athletes, take it upon yourselves. But chill, we have to deal with things like this now, right? Let me show you this comment from Don 31311. Shout out to the Detroit Pistons and my man Don. He says, was Benedict Mathurin gambling, missing them free throws in the NBA Finals? Now, I don't know if he's serious or if he's joking about that, but the thing about it, Chill, is if now people are going to start thinking stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff like that.
You're not even safe to miss free throws at the end of the game. Chill. I couldn't play.
Yeah.
That means I gotta sit there.
Ox is on the tape. Ox is on the tape. Ox is on the tape. Somebody got Ox in their pocket.
Whole time I'm not on the take. I'm just a bum.
Ox can't make free throws.
Right? Come on, I'm a bum. I'm not gambling, yo. I just can't shoot free throws, So I'm just saying it's a dangerous, slippery slope. That's all I'm saying.
It is. Now, I will say this, Ox, to your point about online classes. Ox, there's a reason why you deterred from doing things, because you knew that if you did it, there were consequences to it. Your mom's made it clear to you. If you did this, you was going to get your ass whooped. So you kind of stayed away from that because you ain't want that ass whooping. I think that the penalty when it comes to stuff like this, I think that it needs to be made clear. You do this, this is what's going to happen to you. You will be out of the league. You won't be suspended. You won't miss a couple of games. You will be out of the league. And forever. I think that not for 2 months, not for a year, you can no longer play in the NBA. And I think that when you put those kind of consequences in front of guys, this is what you're risking if you do this.
Chill. Not only that, then no, go ahead.
I'm sorry. If you're prepared to do that, if this is, I don't know, $10,000 or $25,000, if that's worth risking your career, do it. But I'm telling you right now, this is what it's going to be. If you get caught doing this, and I'm telling you right now, we will catch you doing this. When you get caught doing this, you are out of the league. Your professional basketball career in the NBA is over.
But see, Chill, it shouldn't just be the NBA, Chill. They need the contract with the EuroLeague. If somebody gambles in this league, don't accept them over there. They can't, because you can't. We're not gonna touch you over here. You're gonna do the same thing over here. They gamble in the EuroLeague just as much, if not more, than over here.
Yeah, I don't hate it, and I feel like I feel like with consequences, I got deterred when it came to consequences. I ain't gonna get my ass whooped. So I was like, I ain't gonna do that. Mom already told me if I catch you doing this, this is what it's gonna be. I don't need to hear that 3 or 4 times, Ox. Just one time, I'm good. I think I'm good. So when you tell me that, listen, Chill, if you get caught gambling, your career in the NBA is over. I ain't trying to hear that. No, I'm good. You won't catch me in no casinos. You won't catch me on no kind of scorecards. It might be hard to get me to buy a lottery ticket at a gas station. No, because I don't want no misunderstandings about me. No, I don't. And I think that if you put these kind of consequences on these guys, I think that these guys would deter from it. Now, let me ask you this, Ox, and I know we got to move on, but is it because there's a small amount of these guys that it makes it look like it's a bigger deal? Because I don't think it's that many guys, but I think that the amount of guys it is, I think who it is and the amount of guys it is could be an issue. Do you think it's that many?
I think it's a lot of guys that gamble and make prop bets and stuff like that. I want to say that I don't think it's a lot of guys that are messing with the game. I don't think it's a lot of guys doing that. But I do think a lot of guys are, making prop bets and gambling a little bit. And once again, I don't see anything wrong with that. But I don't think you should be gambling on the sport you play in, But I'm sure people do it, and I'm pretty sure they don't mess around with it either. But I can't, that's just me assuming, Chill. It's money, so you never know. It could be a lot more people involved than I think, and it could be just a couple guys making everybody else look bad. So when you get Jonte, you get Jonte, you get Malik, you get Terry, it's starting to sound like, man, everybody's doing it. And that's only 3 guys out of 439. So, hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's not that big a deal. Hopefully it's just a couple of bad apples. We just got to get them out the bunch, get them out the barrel.
Yeah. I could get
that's
that
all.
because I don't think it's ridiculous to think that there's a guy in the league like who Ox going up against tonight. Ox going up against Jaren Jackson. Ox could get 10 rebounds against Jaren Jackson. I got $100 on that. Yeah, I think there's dudes in the league doing that. I 100% think that there's guys in the league because they know each other. And I do think that there's dudes in the league doing stuff like that. I do.
Yeah, for sure. But Adam, it's on y'all, man. Y'all figure it out. Y'all figure it
Please.
out. I just want to watch basketball, Adam. So let's get it together. Chill. In other news, there was a Zach Lowe says the consensus on Cam Thomas, if there is one, and he's got some fans and he's got some mega detractors, but the consensus is kind of like empty calories, ball hog. Cam Thomas says the consensus ? F you and the consensus, Zach Lowe. This is most likely the same consensus teams who can't guard me and send double teams from jump ball. Why are we double teaming a guy who's not that good? Make it make sense, please.
It doesn't make sense, but this is more evidence that these guys, social media and the media, they're so loud that it's almost impossible not to hear it. So a guy like Zach Lowe, who works for ESPN, who also covers the Brooklyn Nets, and I think he covers the Knicks too, if I'm not mistaken. But, guys like that, when they talk about these young guys, they 100% listen because they're young guys. That's who they are. So a guy like Cam Thomas, who's still trying to prove himself in the league and who he is at this point, unfortunately, the Brooklyn Nets aren't good. And Zach Lowe is doing his job looking at Cam Thomas as, you're just a bucket getter. It ain't really, it's not really leading to anything. In the end, all it is just you're a bucket getter. You don't do anything else except that. And Cam Thomas is a professional. I'm a professional scorer. The fact that we're not winning, that doesn't take away from the fact that I'm still good at what I do. And what you're doing is you're undermining that. That's what you're doing. We trying to build something and you undermining that. And I value myself higher than you guys do. Yes, right now, the contract that I'm seeking, there's not many people that are interested in it. Right. That doesn't mean that I don't value myself any less because there's people that's not interested in that. But Zach Lowe, for you to say that a lot of my stuff is empty, okay, I'm not on a very good team right now. That's not just because of me. I'm not on a really good team, but it doesn't take away from what I do. And I think Cam Thomas wants the respect for what he does more than anything.
Chill. Would I be wrong to say Cam Thomas is a shot checker? He shoots bad shots.
100% he is. 100% he is that.
And I understand Cam Thomas taking that personally because to him, he's doing what he has to do to make his team better. So I understand him feeling a certain type of way about that. But is Zach Lowe? Zach Lowe said this is the consensus. I don't think Zach Lowe's just doing his job. Sometimes I do understand where you're coming from. Where the players are listening. Here we go. Let me get rid of that real quick. The players are listening. And so I get that. I get that part of it, right? But Zach Lowe's. Sometimes I feel like the players have to kind of calm down on some of the reporters. Like when it's a guy like Stephen A. or Kendrick Perkins, and they're saying this, that. I feel this way, that way, that way. When Zach Lowe is just reporting the news that he's hearing, you know what I'm saying? I think sometimes players can ease up on some of the journalism every once in a while when it's not like them just trying to degrade him. He's just saying, I think this might be why he's not getting what he's asked for, because the consensus is that Cam kind of got empty calories. You know what I mean? So there's a little truth to that, Chill. There's a little truth to that.
And it is, but there's also the flip side to that, okay, but what you're doing is you're undermining what I'm doing. And what you undermining what I'm doing, now it's lessening my value. When in this league, there aren't many bucket. It's bucket getters. I'm not going to argue that point, but I think Cam Thomas is one of the better bucket getters in the game. And I don't think that we give him enough credit for that. And because of that, a guy like Zach Lowe, who's saying that Like what he's doing is empty. Well, there's a bunch of guys that are doing stuff that are empty. Cam is looking at it like, yo, we trying to build something here in Brooklyn, and it's starting with me as a bucket getter. Don't get me wrong. He is a shot chucker, Ox. I'm not going to argue that. But I have to be on this team because we don't have any other people who can score it like I do. So, unfortunately, I do have to take bad shots. Unfortunately, my volume is high. Yes, that's going to happen. However, we live in an age, Ox, where these dudes got rabbit ears. That's part of it. Yeah. These dudes got rabbit ears, man. They do. They got rabbit ears, and they hear stuff. Even when it's not that they don't want to hear it. They listening. They 100% are listening. So I'm not surprised that Cam Thomas would respond to this. This is why I tell you all the time, Ox, Magic, and Jordan, and Bird, and Jabbar, all of these dudes, it would have been really hard for them coming up if this was going on during that time. It would have been really difficult for those guys because, like Bird had rabbit ears. Magic had rabbit ears too. Jordan is the rabbit ears guy. I mean,
I don't know how Jordan would have made it through them late 90s. I mean, late 80s.
I don't think he would have, Ox. I don't. These guys
losing to Detroit.
Scottie Pippen. All of these guys have rabbit ears. Yo, you soft. You ain't that good. You don't defend. All you want to do is score. And yeah, man, absolutely, no doubt.
Yeah, you can see how Scottie acts now, and tell that if this would have been around. And around those times, the early 90s, late 80s, Scottie would have been on the net. He would have been on every app. He would have been on every app. You motherfucker. I guarantee it. I guarantee he would have been going live after every game. So I hear it's a guy out there saying that I'm soft, I'm the best player on this motherfucking team.
Did you see the 22, 13, and 8 that I just put out there? Did you see that? Yeah, I can see Scottie Pippen doing that.
Yeah. Yes. That would have been bad. That would have been bad. And then, so this is also the thing. I don't want this to turn into a situation where down the road Cam Thomas is saying, "Yeah, I could have got a better contract, but that motherfucker Zach Lowe was up on there talking about I was empty calories, and then all the other teams saw that, and they didn't like." I hate that narrative. I hate that narrative that journalists are out here just messing up a guy's money. Like now, if you feel like you should have been an all-NBA guy, but you feel like maybe there was a conspiracy against you to where everybody didn't vote for you, so you didn't get your money. Okay, I do believe sometimes that goes on. But stuff like this, nah, man, they weren't trying. Wasn't nobody trying to give you $30 million, Cam. And Zach Lowe has nothing to do with it.
You weren't getting that.
So Zach Lowe had nothing to do with that. On top of that, I don't want to play for a franchise that's out here listening to journalists about whether or not they should sign me, whether or not you think I'm empty cap. That's a guy sitting on a laptop typing up a story. That's a guy sitting watching the game. If you can't make a determination based on your own hoop knowledge and based on my play on the basketball court on whether or not you think I'm worth this much money, and you have to look to Zach Lowe.
Why are you listening to these people? Why are you listening to these people?
I don't want to be in your franchise. I don't want to be anywhere around the type of franchise that thinks like that. So, I do kind of hate that narrative where journalists are controlling the sport. It's not like that. No way.
I can't argue that. I can't, to be honest with you. But that's where we are, though. That is exactly where we are, because we have so many different journalists. Not only do we have so many different journalists, we have so many different media outlets that not only do these players, Ox, these organizations got rabbit ears too. They listen. Right. They 100% listen. But as a general manager, my job is not to listen to Zach Lowe, right? My job is not to listen to Stephen A. Smith. As a general manager, my job is to listen to the scouts in the organization. My job is to pay attention to the film. My job is to listen to the president of basketball operations. That's my job. Not listen to Malika Andrews. That's not my job. No, absolutely not. So I think that if these organizations,
I can find myself being swayed by Malika a little bit, but
I kind of figured that. I kind of figured that. So,
yeah. Chill, I want to talk to you about something else. This new Trailblazers team, right? This new Trailblazers team. I see. There's been a little comparison, and they're saying that I don't know if that's what they're saying, but
What
they're
are they
putting
saying,
it out
Ox?
there. Okay, they're saying that the 2027 Blazers could potentially be NBA champions, and they're comparing them to the 2011 Dallas Mavericks. So it's a little interesting in that way. They're saying so. Look, they're saying that they have a lot of.
Oh, do we have a? Do we got a? I was about to ask you, Ox, do we have a player comparison? Is that what's going on?
Exactly. So so they have an international stud forward, Dirk Nowitzki, Denny Advia, a legendary point guard. Yeah, I like Denny, but you know, I
not
like
as much as I like Dirk.
Please,
let's relax. Okay,
a legendary point guard at the end of his career, Dame Lillard, Jason Kidd. Now, I mean, after the Achilles, but I don't hate that. They're different. They're different kinds of point guards. So you know they're very different, but they are legends at the end of their careers. Yes, they are. A DPOY candidate at center. So we're talking Tyson Chandler and the young fella Donovan Clingan.
Yep.
Okay. And then a scoring threat off the bench, Jason Terry, and it is this Shaedon Sharpe. I thought Shaedon was starting, but okay. Anyways, is there anything to that, Chill, or is this just one of those posts where they're just having a little fun?
I think they're having a little fun, Ox, because let's be clear, Dirk Nowitzki in 2011, I believe he was in year 12 at that point. He was established as a star. Denny is not established as that. I think he's an up and coming forward who a lot of us really like, but what it takes to win an NBA championship, you don't need a good player. You need a star, right? You need somebody that's the difference. I'm not sure that Denny is the difference in what they're doing. I think he's a piece to what we're doing. I don't think he's the difference. Damian Lillard is coming off an Achilles injury at the age of 35, right? So I don't know what he's going to look like in a year. Jason Kidd had microfracture surgery not late in his career. Jason Kidd wasn't coming off of an Achilles injury. Jason Kidd in 2011, he was in year, 1994. He showed up 2011. I believe that was year 17 we were going. I think he was 35. He was around Damian Lillard's age, but he wasn't coming off a major injury. And they're completely different players. Damian Lillard is a bucket getter. Jason Kidd is not only is Jason Kidd more of an all-around guard, that offense that they ran was very much like what they were running in Indiana, where there's a lot of ball movement, a lot of misdirection, stuff like that to get other guys involved. Jason Kidd was still one of the better distributors in the game, still one of the best transition guards in the game, even at that juncture of his career. So I'm not going to go that far with him. Tyson Chandler was in year 11. He was the defensive player of the year. So let's chill out on Clingan being that yet. We're only going into year 2. Okay.
Well, this will be the next season though, Chill. This will be year 3.
Okay. So even year 3, right? So let's chill out on Clingan being the defensive player of the year candidate. Well, there's a bunch of different guys that are ahead of him right now, right? We still got to figure out who Clingan is as a defender. He's not he could be what Chandler is down the road. I could get with that. Not in year 3 though, Ox. And as far as Shaedon Sharpe, what I'd like to see is I'd like to see you on the court. Before I could put you in the same category with Jason Terry as a bona fide bucket getter, right? Not only as a bona fide bucket getter, a clutch shot maker, a guy who can get downhill, who can affect the game. Before I can do that, I need to see you consistently on the court. Before I can do that. Now, what it does is it takes away from how good I think that this Trailblazer team is going to be. We had this discussion yesterday, Ox, where I think that this Trailblazer team is a playoff team next year. I do. But when you say stuff like, well, I'm comparing them to the 2011 Dallas Mavericks who won the NBA championship, like, hold on, yo. Excuse me, Ox. Hold on, yo. Let's relax on them being that good right now. I think that they could be something special moving forward, right? I think that they could be something special moving forward because I do think that they're building something. But to your point, I think this is just some people having some fun. That's all it is more than anything.
I mean, but I do want to continue to kind of get into that, talk about the Blazers because I do feel like yesterday, we all didn't really come to there was a lot of us up there basically. So
it wasn't a consensus. No, it wasn't.
Right. So I want to say that this Blazers team is really good. Because even with the names that they just named, they didn't even bring up Drew Holiday, didn't bring up Tamani Kamara, didn't bring up Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant's a good basketball player. It's just I know people. It's kind of like the Bradley Beal thing. People hate the contract, but I like Jeremy Grant. I'm not sure how long he's going to be around. I'm not sure what they're going to do, if they're going to be able to move him around, or how they're going to do it. They just drafted Yang. I don't know how good he's going to be in the NBA, but he looks promising. Mm-hmm. They got a solid team, Chill. I mean,
I think they're going to be good.
They got better already this year. Before Dame announced that he was coming home, the team already got better. Now I got to think the young fellas might get a little better this year, and then Dame comes back into that. And I see no reason why this team doesn't fight for a 8 seed this year. I see no reason for that. And also, when Dame comes, I see no reason why they can't get a little more better. I like what they're doing here in Portland.
In 2 years, Ox, I think they're a bona fide playoff team. So when we go, if we're going into if today is July the 19th and we're going into the 26-27 season, and I'm looking at this Trailblazer team, I'm going, that's a playoff team next year. Next season, I think that they could make the playoffs. I think that they could be that good. In the 26-27 season, I do expect Scoot to get even better than what he is. And even with this season, like we worry a lot about Drew Holiday in Scoot. Okay, first of all, Drew Holiday can move over to the 2. He played the 2 when he played with Rondo. So that thing did work, right? So it's not like that was a situation that didn't work. They just ran into the Warriors. That's the problem. So he could play in the backcourt with Scoot. That could work. He's not just relegated to just playing the lead guard. Same thing when he played in Boston. He played the 2 with Derek White, right? Derek White would play the 1. He would also play the 2. So I just think that this team, we get wrapped up a lot of times in guys not improving and worrying about the roster construction instead of what you have within. I always equate it to that chick you got, Ox. Like, she's dope. Instead of replacing her with somebody else, build with her. Like, you could get better with her. She's got some faults, no problem, right? It's stuff that we can work on, but we can dumb that stuff down and we can fix that stuff. I think the stuff that's the issue with Scoot. I think that teaching Scoot how to play a little bit slower. I think Scoot's shot selection. I think his ability to pass will get better. Has gotten better playing for Chauncey Billups. This kid Tamari Kamara, I love everything about him. Just as a perimeter defender, how much he can speed the game up, right? And on top of that, I think he can give you some consistent buckets. We get wrapped up a lot of times, Ox, that if a dude ain't averaging 30 a game, he can't score. We get wrapped up in that all the time, which just isn't true. If I could get 12, 14 a game from a guy like Kamara, I'm in business. I think that this Trailblazer team next year is contending for a playoff spot. I'm on record saying that, and I stand on that.
I could see it, Chill. My only pushback would be this. Sometimes we see what one team is doing and forget what the other squads are doing too. I find myself guilty of doing that many a times. And I do still look at, teams like Dallas, teams like Houston, teams like OKC, other teams that are still working and getting better. So that's the only pushback I have to that. Other than that, I can definitely see the Portland Trailblazers being a playoff team. But moving forward though, Chill, let's talk about the title of the show. If y'all don't know, Sabrina Ionescu last night won her second 3-point contest. That final round was amazing from Sabrina. In the contest, we had Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Plum, Lexi Hall, who replaced her teammate Caitlin Clark. When she's shooting the ball like 40-some% anyway, so she should have been in the 3-point contest regardless of
even if Caitlin Clark was playing, even if she was there, sure.
The rookie Sonia Citron, she was in there, and also Alicia Gray. Sabrina ended up defeating Alicia in the final round. Chill. What do you think about the 3-point contest? Also to put it out there, skills competition. Natasha Cloud, she won the skills competition. So the New York Liberty swept the skills events.
Yes,
Chill, how did you feel about that skill competition, 3-point contest? What did you see?
Ox, I'm saying it right here. I want to go to the WNBA All-Star weekend. I mean, it looks like it's fantastic, to be honest with you. The skills competition looks way more engaging than what they're doing in the NBA. Like, they really competing. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on her name, Ox. Not Natasha, but the girl she went up against in the final that's played for Seattle. That what the hell is her name?
Was it Skylar?
Not Skylar Diggins. It wasn't her. Damn, I forgot.
Was it Gabby?
That's who I want to say, Gabby, but she missed the layup at the end. She ended up missing the layup.
I didn't catch the skills. I only caught the 3-point contest.
Yeah,
so I'm not.
That's how Natasha won. That's how Natasha won because homegirl from Seattle, she missed the layup at the end, and she bit and Natasha barely edged her. But the skills competition is fantastic. I'm watching the skills competition in the WNBA, and I'm watching them compete, right? And I'm thinking to myself, man, imagine Stockton and Magic in the skills competition. Imagine Isaiah Thomas in the skills competition. I would love to. That's what the skills competition in the NBA used to look like. It used to be. It used to be this level of competition, but it kind of turns into, okay, you go, I go. It still can be fun, but I'm still better than you and I'm more skilled than you. It just doesn't seem like those guys are competing like these women are. And the more I watch stuff like the skills competition, the more I watch not just the skills competition, but the more I watch the WNBA Ox, I am more on board every day. These chicks are ballers, man.
Yeah,
Sabrina comes out in the 3-point contest. Ox, she makes her first 11 shots.
Chill, when she ran through that second rack and then hit the Sprite ball, or was it the Sprite or the Fizzy, whatever ball? I was like, I thought she was about. I didn't know what was going to happen. She went cold on that ball, second to last one. Yep. Man, I was like, no way, this is about to happen. Because you remember the last time Sabrina went crazy. I thought she was about to get like 36 or something.
She had 33.
That was crazy.
She had 33. Dude. And I think that with the skills competition more than anything, I think that it gives, if you are a basketball fan, if you watch the skills competition, it'll give you an in-depth look of how skilled these women really are, how good they really are, right? And the level of competition that they will compete at. And you could see their skill level at that level. And you're like, yo, these women are for real. And I dig Alicia Gray. I do. The thing I dig about Alicia Gray is, one, she's got a real wholesome way about her. I really dig that. But she also a baller too, right? She comes out with the attitude of a baller. Like, I'm out here and this is fun, but I'm gonna kick your ass. I am gonna kick your ass. And her skill level is one of the best in the league. That's why with her being in the 3-point contest, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on homegirl's name that runs with Caitlin Clark in Indiana. She was out there like, I'm trying to win this thing. She wasn't just there, Ox. She was there like she was trying to win. She was dead serious.
Lexi Hull, right?
Lexi, yes. Lexi was out there trying to win. I mean, I think she cracked the first 4 shots. I was thinking, we got something here with Lexi. She was dead serious. So, Ox, honestly, watching the skills competition yesterday, I was thinking to myself, this would be something dope to go to. Yeah. More than anything. I think this would be something dope to go to.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna get out there. I thought we were gonna make it for that one.
I did too. I
was excited for that. Next year, we're definitely gonna be there. I know we will. So it said in the skills comp, it said that from Seattle there was Skylar and Erica Wheeler were in the skills competition. Erica Wheeler,
she ended up missing the layup at the end.
Yep. Courtney Williams from the Minnesota Lynx, she was in there. So I know it was good. Shout out to the New York Liberty sweeping the day. I know that got to be exciting for them. Sabrina, Natasha. I mean, Natasha Cloud, that was just such a great addition for their team anyway. Just her presence, her attitude, and just the type of basketball player she is. She fits in with them very well. So that's dope for them. Shout out to them. And is the game tonight? I believe the game
8:30 tonight. 8:30 tonight.
8:30. So man, y'all tap into that, man. We got an All-Star game tonight, man. Y'all check it out. Definitely. What I'm gonna do before we move on, I'm gonna send the link out so that way y'all can get in here ahead of time. I'm gonna send the link out right now. So y'all don't be shy. I know y'all love basketball. Y'all want to talk hoops. Y'all want to come up here and chill with chill. So click this link. You know, this is the link for you to get up here. And you don't got to ask, hey, how do I get on stage? How do I do? You know what to do. Click the link. I'm going to pull you up. I'll pull you up in a few minutes. It won't be right now. Chill. We do the blast from the blast from the past player. We started this segment last week. Last week we talked about one of the forgotten greats in Amari Stoudemire. Today we're going to talk about another forgotten great, one of my all-time favorite players, Rajon Rondo. Chill. How did Rajon Rondo make the cut today to be our blast from the past player?
Well, the reason why is because I was thinking about you, Ox. Because I mean, I remember watching Rajon as when he first came into the league, and you big up Rajon all the time. So I want to hear from you, like Ox. It's not that I was missing anything, right? Because I don't think I was missing anything. I think Rajon Rondo was fantastic, but I want to hear from you, Ox. How good was Rajon Rondo? Because when I talk to you about him, you have nothing but great things to say about this dude, Ox. How good was Rajon? What am I missing here?
I think in Rajon's prime, there was no doubt that he was always a top 3 guy, definitely a top 5 point guard in the NBA. And when you see when he was around in the time when the league was starting to change, where everybody they expected you if you're a guard to be able to shoot the ball, and he couldn't do it at first. You know, as he got older, he started being able to shoot it a little better. He was never known as a shooter, and for you to be getting defended the way he was and still have such an impact on the basketball game, those type of things are special to me. You know, to be 6'3", super long arms, be able to get downhill, finish in the lane with the trees, always looking to get your teammates in great positions to score. That was one thing I loved about Rajon is he would give you the ball at the right time, where it's like you have an all-time great guy like Kevin Garnett and you're spoon feeding him. You know what I mean? Like KG doesn't need to be spoon fed. Paul right. Pierce doesn't need to be spoon fed. And still, Rajon Rondo was doing that. Rajon Rondo at this time, Ray Allen was undisputed the best shooter ever. This is, at this time, he was. And he's catching the ball. I'm talking about Rajon's throwing it here. He's catching the ball, bow, ready to shoot. He doesn't have to move it, bow. Rajon Rondo is just one of those players. He made everybody better. And I got to respect that from a point guard. And not only that, chill. He's going to, on that other side of the floor, he's going to turn around, sit in his stance, and get under you and play defense. I mean, he was a dog on the defensive end. I think that is what is his most underrated part of his game. I think that's the most underrated part of his game. Rajon Rondo was an absolute animal on the defensive end. I've seen Rajon Rondo looking like a D-Wade stopper. And now I'm not saying he was a D-Wade stopper. I would never say that. But he was – I've seen Rajon Rondo – have D-Wade out there looking kind of like, yo, like what's happening right now? I've seen these things with my own eyes. Rajon Rondo and Derrick Rose had one of the best battles in the playoffs I've seen from guards in a long time. Derrick Rose ended up getting that late game block, and I would say Derrick Rose might have got the best of that battle, but it was still so chill. Rajon Rondo went to Chicago and was breaking Scottie Pippen's playoff records.
Had he not broke his hand, they would have put Boston out. Boston was out in round 1. They're out. And that was the number 1 seed, by the way. If he doesn't break his hand, they're out in round 1. No doubt about that.
Scotty's real quick, to Scotty's point in the chat, when I saw him go to the Lakers, and be pivotal in a championship, I won't sit up here and say that the Lakers don't win without him. But him and Alex Caruso turned that defense up on Jamal Murray, and Jamal was clearly flustered. He was. I mean, it's just I can point at so many different times leading the league in assists when he played for the Sacramento Kings at that point. You know what I mean? Like Rajon Rondo, even when he wasn't with the Celtics, when he wasn't with the Lakers, he was still playing great basketball. Him and Drew Holiday, what they came up here to Portland and did to CJ and Dame, that should be written about in history books. Yeah, he's been around the league, and everywhere he made his teams better. I have nothing negative to say about Rajon Rondo. Even if I tried, I couldn't find anything.
Well, two things, Ox. Number one, when I think about a lead guard, what I value is your ability to pass. I know we live in an era where the lead guard has to score, but I always felt like you as a lead guard, your job is to control the offense. Your job is to get other people involved. And for Rondo to lead the league in assists for 5 years, Ox, he did that 5 times, yo. I mean, that rivals Magic, Stockton, like Chris Paul. These guys were doing that sort of stuff. Like to lead the league in assists that many times, right? And that 2020 playoff run that you're talking about, I've heard in the past about playoff Rondo. I've heard that. And from time to time, I saw it. I got reminded in 2020 that playoff Rondo is a real thing. That's not something that they just made up. No, playoff Rondo is a real thing where that three, that mid-range, him getting downhill, him getting to the rim, him coming up with timely steals, like stuff like this, you didn't see it that much in January. You might not have seen it that much in December. But boy, when the playoffs started, it just happened. And it happened even more. Playoff Rondo was 100% a real thing. I just hear you talk about him a lot. And I actually had to go back and watch some film on Rondo. Like, Ox talks about Rondo a lot. I got to go back and watch some film on Rondo. And I forget the defender that he was. I forget that he wasn't a good defender in the NBA. He was elite. 100% he was elite. There were games where he saved them on defense just by simply shooting gaps and closing the door where that pass wasn't there and a guy threw the ball out of bounds or a guy took an ill-advised shot because he couldn't get the ball back to his point guard. Just off the strength of Rajon Rondo stepping in the passing lane, right? Him just being one of the best rebounding guards in the league that we didn't give him a lot of credit for. So when I saw that, I thought to myself, I gotta talk to Ox because Ox got to tell me how good this dude really was.
Yeah. So I seen Rajon on defense with Tony Allen. I've seen Rajon on defense with Drew Holiday. I've seen Rajon on defense with Avery Bradley. I've seen Rajon on defense with Alex Caruso. And those were some of the better defenses. Chill, what season, what year was that in the playoffs when Rajon was giving the Miami Heat hell? And I never forgave Dwayne Wade for grabbing Rajon Rondo when he was falling when he did, and Rajon popped his elbow.
2012.
That was 2012.
Yeah,
that's
2012.
It's times like that where I'm like, if Rajon doesn't get hurt right here, it's times like the one you were talking about with the Bulls. If Rajon doesn't get hurt right here, in that Bulls situation, Chill, I've always
the Celtics are out. The Celtics are out.
I've always questioned that. I've always questioned that. And I don't mean to question the integrity of the league, Chill, but I find it hard to believe that Rajon Rondo goes up on the Celtics and sits out because of a broken bone in his left hand. I find that hard to believe, and I don't want to bring up no conspiracy theories, but Rajon said himself that they forced him to not play in Dallas. They were trying everything to keep him off the court in Dallas, and they made him not play. He said that out of his own mouth. So that's all I'm saying. I think Rajon was really good, and I think there were some people that didn't like how good Rajon was. And now I don't know. I don't
think that's ridiculous to say. No, and because considering first and foremost, remember during that time, like we were shifting into the point guard era, right? We with Russ and Irv and Curry and Dame and Chris Paul, John Wall, like we were shifting in that. Rajon Rondo was forgotten because he was of the earlier era. He showed up in 2004, and we were ushering in that new point guard era. Meanwhile, Rajon's still leading the league in assists. Rajon is still playing deep into the playoffs. Rajon's still one of the better point guards in the league. So you look at Rajon and you look at these other point guards, well, you don't average 30. You can't average 25. You don't score it like these guys. So they were kind of nudging Rajon out and completely leaving out the lead guard that he was and how good he was at that position. And I mean, I don't think it's ridiculous to think that there was a conspiracy at that point, but he still played himself. If we're being honest, he still played himself into still being into that upper echelon of league guard. Because if you remember, they just ran into that Warrior team in 2018. They served that Portland team with him and Drew Holiday in the backcourt. Right. Served them dudes. They had the Warriors to 6, right? Yes, they just had the unfortunate luck of running into that Warriors team. Because if they are running into that Warriors team and somebody else handles them, I like New Orleans in the Western Conference that year. I love them, especially how Anthony Davis was playing.
If they just had DeMarcus, if they just had DeMarcus, I've said it many times. DeMarcus Cousins at that time was the best big man in the NBA. I got him over Anthony Davis. Even if I don't have him over Anthony Davis, he's second behind Anthony Davis. So you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. One of those two is the best, and one of them is the second best. I think that team absolutely could have beat that Warriors team. DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis were, oh my God. I have hard times even getting onto that because I'll get sidetracked and forget that I'm supposed to be hosting the show right now. Shit. It's that team was amazing. Wow, Andrew, of course you would say this. Andrew G, the Celtics fan, says Celtics should have done a Rondo CP3 swap, equal more rings. Yeah, well, Rajon got 2. How many CP3 got?
0. And I think Rondo just fit better. Rondo just fit better for what they were doing. I just do from a continuity standpoint, from a game standpoint. They didn't need Rondo to be a bucket getter like that. Even though he could get you buckets, they didn't need him to be a bucket getter like that. They didn't. They had plenty of that from Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, and KG. They had plenty of that. Rondo's role was perfect, and he was the perfect point guard for what the Celtics were doing. They didn't need him to do that.
Right. Chill. Speaking of point guards, though, let's move off of Rajon Rondo and let's talk about Rashad McCants. So Rashad McCants on Russell Westbrook. He says Russ is statistically the greatest point guard of all time. Russ ranks among point guards all time, second in points, first in rebounds, 7th in assists, 3rd in blocks, 8th in steals, 1st in triple doubles, game time and go-ahead field goals. So meaning in the clutch, he's 1st. Does Rashad McCants have a strong case for Russ right now? Because I know me and you both didn't put Russ in our top 10 point guard list for Mars, right?
We did not.
Right.
The way he explained it, sure. The fact that the standard for the league guard is to be a double-double machine, and the fact that Russell Westbrook was a triple-double machine like he was, and the fact that he did it over the course of 4 years, and not only did he do it over the course of 4 years, he made it less than. What I mean when I say he made it less than, he made it look like it was something that was just every day. And when in reality, what he was doing was ridiculously difficult. But for him to be statistically the best point guard, well, if you're basing it on the fact that he did average a triple-double for 4 years, I could get with that. Okay, sure, 100%. I could get with that. But we do have to factor in things like how efficient you are. We do have to factor in how much you get your guys involved in the way that's conducive to winning and consistently winning. And I know that we have to take a step back. I know that Russ had to take a step back when he was playing with Paul George and with Carmelo Anthony, but he also had some big-time blunders, just like every other point guard. I mean, don't forget that, Tragic Johnson is a thing. 100% Tragic Johnson is a thing. And the fact that the Utah Jazz in 1989, they were bounced in the first round against the Blazers. Against the Warriors. That happens. But I do think that he has a case for him being best statistical guard, because I don't think people recognize how difficult it is not just to average a triple-double, what it means, like to average a triple-double. Ox, that means that I'm almost involved in every play of the game. Think about it like a movie where the star is in almost every scene of the movie. That's uncommon. And if I'm the star and I'm almost in every scene of the movie, I'm working my ass off. And I'm trying to make this movie the best movie. Well, Russ was doing that with his crews, and he did it in different situations. He went to that Washington team and averaged a triple-double. And with him getting on that Washington team and averaging a triple-double and taking that team to the playoffs, which wasn't really going on. That team was supposed to be garbage. But with him getting with Bradley Beal and taking that team to the playoffs, yes, that was something, nothing short of phenomenal that he did that. But I don't have him in my top 10 because there are other things that I value. I value efficiency. I value how smart you are. I value the speed of the game and how you take care of the basketball. And I think that there's other league guards who did that better than him. But I don't want that to take away from how good Russ was from a statistical standpoint. I do think that Rashad McCants has a case with that.
Chill. I want to ask you, because what I like to do a lot of times is I can understand that a guy might be a better basketball player than another guy, right? But what I like to do is kind of go off of, if I was coaching or I was playing, who would I rather have? You know what I'm saying? Because I can understand that a guy that might not be as good can fit in better or might just like their style of play a little better. So I want to ask you, like, what type of tier, like what tier is Russell Westbrook in for you? Like, if I name a couple of guys, like at their peaks, right? What type, who would you rather have? You know, would you rather have like a peak? So you have Russ over John Wall.
I do have Russ over John Wall. Yes.
Okay, and you would rather have Russ than John Wall.
I would rather have Russ than John Wall, but it's close. It's really close. I'm because I think that Russ, I think that Russ as a bucket getter, I think that Russ, I mean, John Wall as a defender, I think he was elite. And I never understood why Russell Westbrook never made the All-League defensive team, because he played at that level as a defender. He 100% played at that level. But I would take Russ over John Wall just off the strength of the intangibles, the other stuff that he did. I mean, I think John Wall, I think John Wall did a great job in taking care of the basketball. I don't think he was on the glass as much as Russ. I don't think he affected the game in the ways that Russ affected the game, like being able to get guys involved consistently like Russ was doing, not just get guys involved consistently like Russ was doing, but also Russ being able to score the basketball at the rate that he was scoring the basketball. I think that John Wall was a fantastic transition player. I think Russ was better. I think Russ was a better athlete.
Let me throw a couple more names at you and just want to see, not necessarily who was better, but who would you rather have? Terry Porter. I'm talking about these peak at the guys at their peak.
The best version of Terry Porter.
Yeah, best version of Terry Porter.
I'll take Russ over the best version of Terry Porter. It's the buckets that's the separator for me.
Let me think. Nick Van Exel.
I'll take Russ over Nick Van Exel. Yes.
Okay. Dre Miller.
I may take Dre Miller over Russ. I think Dre does a better job in taking care of the ball. And that's, I don't think that Russ was better than, I don't think he was better than Russ overall. But at the peak of Andre's powers, I think he does that. I just think he did such a great job in taking care of the basketball, and I value that sort of stuff. I care about that, and I think Andre Miller, if I'm supplementing or if I'm substituting the athleticism, the scoring, if I'm substituting that for a guy that's doing a better job in taking care of the basketball, I would take Andre Miller. I think Russ was better though.
Jalen Brunson.
Russ.
Okay.
The defensive side of the ball is separated with me with Russ.
What about a guy like De'Aaron Fox?
I'm still taking Russ, and I love Foxy. I do. Okay. I love Foxy. I'll take Russ though.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to get a gauge on what it is that you're valuing at that lead position. So I see where you're coming from. Okay. Okay. Yep. Let me see. Let's get into. We got a members chat real quick. Let me read that first before we do anything. Real quick, y'all. Bear with me. We do got a members chat from Big Fan Breezy. He says, if it's a wings league now, when was the PG the most important position? How y'all feel about players speaking up for themselves versus media, like Cam Thomas versus Zach?
To answer the first question, I feel like it's always been a point guards league, but the bigger guys, the bigger wings, like James, Scottie Pippen, James, they kind of changed that because, bigger guys that are better distributors, bigger guys that can get downhill and beat up on big men and make plays, they kind of forced the point forward position to be more valuable than it was. So I still think that the point guard is the most important position. How I feel about players speaking up for themselves, I mean, more than anything, I've always valued a guy letting my game do the talking. Like you can say whatever you want about me, Ox. I'm gonna let my game do the talking. And then after my game does the talking, then you can say whatever it is that you want to say. Knock yourself out after that. But I'm gonna let my game do the talking. Once my game does the talking, and then any questions that you have about me, then you can do that. But I'm gonna let my game do the talking.
Okay, no doubt. All right, let's get some guys up on stage real quick. Let's see. We got 24 minutes left in the show. Let me see who's up here. Who's first? We got. Let's get Don 31311 up to the stage. Don, what's up?
What up, dog?
It was good, Don. Happy that
how
you
y'all
made it up
been?
here.
What up, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Detroit in the house. My pop's from Detroit,
Man.
just so you know, by the way.
Oh, for real? That's what's up.
Yeah,
Where you from?
My father from Detroit. I'm originally from Jersey. Yeah, my father from Detroit.
Okay. Yeah, I really wanted to start off with the Malik Beasley thing, because would you like to say, Chill, he threw a monkey wrench and everything?
Yeah, he did. 100%. That Detroit team is on the they were doing something special. They're gonna get back. You're gonna get back this kid Ivy.
Yeah.
They were gonna sign Beasley. You guys are on to something.
Right.
You can make the argument that he's the best rotation player in the league, definitely the best shooter coming off the bench in the league, I think. And the fact that this happened, this kind of derails a lot of stuff that y'all were trying to do.
Yeah, it affected everything. We had to take his money and give it to Duncan Robinson. And I'm not too sure about Duncan Robinson. I think he okay. I'm not really too sure about him at all.
Well, he can still shoot it. Don't get me wrong. Duncan Robinson can still shoot the basketball, but I think Malik Beasley, he was just woven into your group a little bit better.
Right. Y'all was talking about the whole gambling thing. It happened all over sports. I was talking to my man's K-Dot in the chat. We was talking about Shohei Ohtani doing the gambling thing. And I was like, then Ohtani had to deal with something like that. He was like, it was his interpreter. Do you know his interpreter stole money from him and lost gambling money over $48 million? That is
he went to prison
insane.
for that. He in prison for that, by the way. Yeah, he went to jail for that.
That is insane. Even
but the
in
problem
college
is though, here's the problem though, Don. When you are in that, immediately the consensus is you involved in it. Even though Ohtani had nothing to do with that. Nothing.
Right.
He ain't know nothing about that.
Right.
Fired him immediately. Cut ties with him immediately. Immediately cut ties with him. So, but the public perception is you was doing it too, which doesn't really hold a lot of weight with me.
And then you
that's what I was saying earlier though, y'all. When you get mixed up in stuff like this, when the gambling starts coming on, it just turns into a lot of speculation. That's why I think it's dangerous.
And then you look at my Detroit Lions. I think it was a couple years ago, wide receiver named Jameson Williams. He gambled with two other players in the NFL. He got suspended for 6 games. Usually it's 12. The reason he got suspended for 6 games because he betted other sports. He didn't bet NFL. So we do have a gambling problem. It's all over. Look at college football. Iowa State. 7 players got suspended in the state of Iowa for gambling. It is a problem.
Huge problem. Yes, it is. Sounds like it. Don, good to talk to you, brother. Appreciate you, my man.
All right.
Absolutely.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, Don. We'll be back on Thursday.
All right, I got y'all.
Right.
Ox, I just think that, man, that this is something that before it turns into something bigger than what it is, you gotta get in front of this, yo. You do.
Yeah.
You gotta get in front of it.
Yeah. Y'all, shout out to Don. He's on a legendary run right now. Y'all, man, y'all support Don. I don't think he's gonna make it to 100 days, but shout out to him anyway. We got next coming up, football breakdown. Football, what's going on?
What's good, y'all? Happy Saturday.
What's up, brother? How you running?
Good. I need y'all to admit something because in the last 2 weeks, y'all, Ox, sorry, I'm on BS. In the last 2 weeks, you guys have discussed the greatest scorers of all time. You did a tier list, and then you talk about point guards. And I sent a super chat this week inquiring, why isn't LeBron on these lists? considering.
Why is James not on this list?
No,
Why?
and I said, why he's not on this list? And guys like Luka, Steph, and I forget the other person on the list, when those guys are definitely more shoot first than LeBron James, right? And I was like, I know LeBron is the topic of a lot of things. We don't want to include him in every conversation, but
even though we should, by the way.
Let's be honest, right? And this has been my problem. And like the reason I support LeBron so much is because since the beginning of his career, I feel like he's the most misanalyzed and he's had the most negative narratives that are untrue about him that have been said. Like I'll give you the first one that was said that, he doesn't show up in the fourth quarter, right? That was early. Do you know in 07, or it was 07, 08, 09, and 2010, he led the fourth quarter in NBA in fourth quarter scoring. In 3 years, this is in prime Kobe years, right? When Kobe's a killer, right? Do you know who was the all-time leading fourth quarter scorer on average in NBA history?
James.
LeBron James. But to go back to the point guard conversation, right? If you think about all aspects of being a point guard, what one thing does he not do better than Curry in terms of being a point guard? He's a great ball handler, especially for his size. He controls tempo better than Curry. He averages more assists than Curry. He brings the ball up the court more regularly than Curry. He plays on ball more than Curry. He's able to dominate a game through playmaking and not scoring more so than Curry has. He has better playmaking peaks than Curry in terms of his passing and playmaking.
He outplayed Curry at the lead guard spot in the finals in 16.
Exactly. If people want to say he's a lead guard, he's also led the league in assists, which Curry hasn't done. And he won a chip leading the league in assists in 2020. But I don't see him on this list because, and no one can give me a good explanation. They're gonna be like, Jokic leads the league in assists. He's not a point guard. Because that was a retort that Mars and other people had. And let's not be disingenuous. Jokic doesn't do the other aspects of the point guard that I mentioned. Jokic gets a lot of assists. He's not the primary ball handler for his teams. Jokic gets a lot of assists more so through the system. Jamal Murray brings the ball up and controls the pace of the game more so. Like Jokic is a great playmaker and swing man, a la Draymond Green. But we would never call Draymond Green a point guard just because he averaged more assists than Curry in certain years. It's more than just your assist total. I don't see what point guard aspect that James doesn't check off. Maybe y'all can help me.
No, there isn't one. But if I think about what James has done at the lead guard spot, again, it's not the conventional. And he's not, and by the way, I'm not averaging 30 a game at the lead guard spot, even though he played point guard and was averaging 25 a game while leading the league in assists. He was doing that. That 100% was going on. But people don't look at him like a lead guard because they look at him more because he's built more like a small forward, power forward. So Curry is built more like a point guard. Kyrie Irving is built more like a point guard. Russell Westbrook, these guys are built and they look more like lead guards. And they play more like league guards, even though James plays just like that, except he's bigger.
Right.
He affects the game a lot more. Not only does he affect the game a lot more, it led to winning in a bunch of different aspects. So we can't put him in that conversation because, we already got him in the conversation as the greatest scorer of all time, the best scorer of all time. We already got him in the conversation as the best player of all time. You want us to put him in the conversation as the best point guard of all time too? The best scoring point guard of all time? Wait a minute, we can't do that.
And I get it. You don't want to have him in every conversation. That's cool. But having Curry, who's known as the greatest shooter ever, and James, who is known to be one of the best passers ever, and one of them is a point guard and the other one's not considered point guard, considering especially Curry in the late games. Curry's decision-making in late games, typically what Curry defaults to is a step-back three. Whereas James, that's not his only option is just to score. He looks to pass. Right. I can't tell you how many playoff games I've seen LeBron come out in the first quarter and not attempt a shot.
Wait, football. I just want to make sure that we're clear here. What you're saying right here is that you want LeBron to start being considered more of a point guard?
All I'm saying is, if you're going to put Steph Curry in a point guard conversation, don't tell me I can't put LeBron in a point guard conversation when I have more evidence of him playing like a point guard, controlling pace, being a floor general than a Steph Curry does. It just makes no sense.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's fine. My thing is this, though, football. In today's basketball discourse, If you want to put Bron at the point guard, just do it.
No,
You know what
I
I'm
do,
saying?
but I never
Just
hear in the
do it.
conversation. Y'all did a list,
Well,
and
you're
no one
not.
mentions
You're
him.
not. Well, because I don't consider Bron as a point guard throughout his career. I think he's played a lot of point guard. I just think he's an incredible passer. You know what I'm saying? I don't think assists make you a point guard.
Me
But
neither.
Bron has done a lot of controlling the floor, so I see where you're coming from. But the thing about conversations like that, though, football is you're not going to get anywhere with it. You just have to push your own issue, and if you want to put Bron in your point guard list, I suggest you start doing that. We do
I'm just
appreciate
asking for
you pulling up as
consistency.
us. Yeah, consistency.
And that part, that part I
is
could
key.
get with. That part I could get.
Consistency is key. If Bron, before we do go, because we do have to go, I got a full house. I'm trying to get as many people up today as possible.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to put Bron on your point guard list, where would you put him?
I mean, if he's a point guard, I mean, how couldn't you put him as?
Is he a top 10 point guard all time?
Of course. If you consider Bron a point guard, of course. I could say he's definitely top 5. Like Curry is primarily known for his shooting. Like Bron is a better passer, playmaker, distributor, higher IQ. People would
just give me a number, football. Where you putting him?
I'll put him at 2. I'll put him behind Magic.
Yikes.
All right. Well, football, it was great talking to you. We're gonna move on. You know where to find us though. Ooh, Jordan, the second best point guard. I mean, James.
I can appreciate his logic that if we're going to talk about league guards, I did do league guard stuff for a long time at a high level. So if you're going to talk about league guards, you got to talk about me too. I can get that part, but I think that James was such an anomaly as a player that it was hard to pigeonhole him in one spot, like to put him in the small forward spot, to put him in the league guard because he did so many different things. That's why.
Right. Let's see, who do we got next? Let's get Classic up to the stage. Yo, Classic, what's up?
Yo, what up, guys?
What up?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about Ox, man. Your Draymond Green disrespect, I did not like that at all. I don't see how you can like guys like Rondo, but disrespect Draymond Green. He's definitely better than Al Jefferson, LaMarcus.
I never said Al Jefferson's name. That was Kenny Martin.
Those guys that they were mentioning, he's better than them. And I love Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace is one of my favorite players. I think Ben Wallace should have won MVP in 2006, but I think Draymond Green is better than him as well.
Did Draymond Green ever have a year where you thought he should have won MVP?
No, I don't think he had a year that he should have won MVP because, those years with Steph, it's hard not to say Steph was the best player on the team. I think Ben Wallace, what he provided defensively in the early years was enough to say he was the best player on.
Was Ben Wallace better defensively in 2006 than Steve Nash was offensively?
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm not mad at that. I want to know real quick, Classic. Let's stay here real quick because we don't got too much time, so I want to stay focused. When and how did I disrespect Draymond Green?
So did you not say LaMarcus Aldridge was better than Draymond Green?
Okay, and that's disrespectful.
Yeah, that's the disrespect because Draymond
maybe you're disrespecting LaMarcus Aldridge.
No, because I think Draymond Green is an all-time player. I think he's a top 75 player.
I think he's an all-time player?
Yes, he moves the needle on a lot of teams. And Ox, you're disrespecting his offense.
This is what I want to know. This is what I'm saying. How does he move? How do you know he moves the needle on a whole bunch of teams? He hasn't done anything but play with greats. And
but Ox, he's the reason why those teams were great, though. If you take Draymond Green off those teams are not great. And I think you're not respecting his offense ability.
We've seen. So what? Let me ask you this. Classic. The Golden State Warriors from 15 to 19. If you take Draymond Green off that team and then run those 4 years, right? Mm-hmm. And then if you take Steph Curry off those teams and run those for 4 years, which team is better?
Ox, I don't know. That don't matter to me.
You do know.
Don't matter to me.
No, it does. It does matter. It does matter. It does matter, Classic, because you just said he was the most important. He was the reason. You said he was the reason.
I didn't say most important. I said Steph Curry would have been the MVP.
You said that he was the reason. So if he's the reason, if you take Steph Curry off that team, does Draymond Green have 4 rings? And if you take Draymond Green off that team, does Steph Curry have at least two
No,
rings.
no, that's what I'm saying. No, and
Okay,
I'm saying so. I
that's
think
the disconnect.
Draymond Green, his playmaking, Ox, you're not respecting that. And then
I am
Draymond Green is a
respecting
good
them.
ball handler. Draymond Green is basically a point guard who year after year averages, like Chill say, damn near a triple double. But because it's not a triple
Good
double, I guess
God
we don't
Almighty.
respect that. And I think this is how much I think Draymond Green needs to moves the needle. If you put him on that 1994 Knicks team with Patrick Ewing, Elijah Wan only has one ring. If you put him on,
But
Draymond is not slowing
if you
down
put-
Hakeem Olajuwon.
So you
Hell
just
no.
put him on the team. You got to take
What?
somebody off the team.
Okay,
You can't
okay,
just
take
put him
Charles
on.
Smith out, they power forward, and insert Draymond Green. Let Draymond Green run the offense and put him on that defense with Patrick Ewing. Put him on that defense with Derek Harper, and then let him get better shots for
And
John
he's
Stark.
the Hakeem Olajuwon stopper.
I'm not
He's
saying he's
slowing
gonna
I
down.
swear
stop.
to
No,
God,
I'm not
Classic.
saying he's the stopper. I'm saying that their offense was a lot better.
You're
Their
bugging.
offense is a lot better, and their defense is a lot better, and they win the championship that year. And if you put him on the Orlando Magic teams with T-Mac, T-Mac career wouldn't be such a losing career. He definitely
Wait.
out of the
Okay,
first round.
wait. We can start agreeing now. Let's start agreeing. I do believe that if you put Draymond Green on a lot of sorry ass teams, that they be a lot less
Take
sorry.
Tony Battie off of
Yeah.
Orlando and put Draymond on there. Yeah.
Right. I agree
Okay,
with
I
you,
can get
Classic.
with that.
If you put him on a sorry squad, they get a lot less sorry. I can agree with you on that. Yes, I can.
Nah, yeah, I don't agree. And then also just real quick before I get off, I didn't like the Blazers trade for Damian Lillard. I actually thought they were going to be great. I do think they're going to be great next year. I think they can
But
get
they didn't trade anybody for Dame though, right? They just signed him.
But I don't like them signing him. I think they're going to
Okay.
the playoffs next year, but I think when he returns, I think he's going to make them worse. And then I appreciate you guys too as well, because I'm going to be hate watching the Clippers this year because of Bradley Beal. And so now no more excuses whenever he starts playing bad and the Clippers look worse because he on that new contract.
Wait, real quick. When is Bradley Beal actually played bad?
I thought he played bad last year with the Suns.
Okay.
Just so you know, I think he averaged 17 a game and shot
Averaged 17 and missed the playoffs with a team with the greatest scorer of all time, and Devin Booker, who I thought should have won.
They didn't have any idea what they were doing down there. Classic. I'm not going to put that on Bradley Beal, and he had a bad back too. I'm not going to leave that part out. So
all these excuses.
Classic, I wish we had more time, Classic. Someday I'm gonna have to catch up with you. Maybe when I bring the Graveyard Shift back next month, maybe we can talk about this Draymond Green thing, because I really want to get into that, because I don't feel like I disrespected Draymond.
You did
not. I just feel like LaMarcus Aldridge is better, and I think it's just so obvious. But I feel you though, and I ain't mad at anybody that has. Once again, I got Draymond Green as a first ballot Hall of Famer, no questions asked. But we need to get into that sometime, because I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of it.
All right,
I am sick and
no doubt,
tired.
man. You guys have a good one.
Talk to you, brother.
All right,
brother. No doubt.
Peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't disrespecting Draymond. I'm actually people don't know this shit. I'm actually a big fan of Draymond Green's basketball game. It's the other stuff that makes me really dislike Draymond. But
you mean the fact that he's a criminal and he should be in the penitentiary, like that part right there?
That part.
That he's a psycho.
That's the part. That's it right there. But chill. Back in my day when I could play basketball, chill, I had to play like Draymond to stay on the court. You know what I'm saying? So I respect Draymond Green on the court. I'm a fan of Draymond Green on the basketball court. I really am. But LaMarcus Aldridge is better. That's all I got to say about that. Let me see who we got. Oh, we got my man Davion. Davion, where you been, fam?
What's up, brother?
Yo, how y'all doing? Can you hear me?
What's up, brother? What's going on with you?
What's up? How y'all doing? So today, it's not really a basketball question. It's like a player's choice question. So I've been watching Player's Choice since like before like the Sunday shows. So like when it was Euro, Dale, Shaq, when Ron, you would come on, Chill be on, like way back then. So from now to then, what's y'all favorite crew, like individually? Like what was the crew that you liked the most? Did you like the cast, with Ticket, when it was Mars and it was Dub? Do you like the new crew, Swiper? Back when it was Mustard, like all the different crews. If y'all both had to pick y'all one crew that you had to choose, what's your all-time, favorite crew that you like all together for your choice?
That's a tough one, man, because we've had a good combination of guys, but Ox, myself, Mars, and Ron with Ticket. I thought that was good stuff. I thought that was must see TV when we were doing that.
Yeah.
I thought that was must see TV.
I would say that we had
What about you, Ox?
we had some. It was one of those things where when Dub, Damo, everybody, we had some rough
Damo
days.
too.
Yeah,
Damo.
we had a couple rough days, but the good days were so good.
Yes.
You know, the good days were so good. I think now we do have a little more consistency. You know, we know who's going to be here on what days. We know what to expect. You know, to answer the question, though, Devion, my favorite crew is on Saturdays and Thursdays. My favorite crew is the Chill with Chill show. You know what I'm saying? That's my favorite crew. But shout out to everybody that's come through, man. We've had a lot of really good basketball minds, a lot of really good sports debaters, and we've had a lot of good casuals.
A lot of good guests.
You know what I'm saying? We've had, and you know one thing, and obviously
John
I don't mean
D, like a lot of new people making faces and names for themselves.
Right, and obviously I don't mean any disrespect to Tiki. You know what I'm saying? He'd be good. You know, we had a lot of conversations off screen. Good dude, right? The only thing is now we can get some guests up that won't get grilled for 20 minutes straight just to have to prove that they can be here. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when you got a big dog in the yard, you know what I'm saying, that dog got to check your temperature. And I respect that, but you know, so I think a lot of times the guests will be a little scared, you know what I'm saying? And that's all. And I like when we get new guys up and we can get their point of view, like Nerd Sash, even the fella last week. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. And he the one that said he was cutting me, he didn't like my takes, and then but we agreed on a lot of stuff, you know. That's all though. But shout out to PC, shout out to the panel, man. I love it. You know, I've loved every single assortment of guys that we've ever had up on there, man, for sure.
Yeah, we have.
What about you, Devion? What's your favorite?
Yeah, I kind of agree with. I miss when it was, you know, Dub, when it was Ticket, when it was, you know, like Mars. Back when Dub and Mars, they was cool, you know, and you know all that. I miss when Damo was there, like a little bit, you know, when Damo and Ticket a little bit after, you know, like kind of like that secondary cast to kind of move to. I like them because immediately once the show start, immediately y'all get into it, like immediately. Either Ticket coming at Chill, he coming at Damo, somebody like immediately like. It's no good morning. It's getting straight to it every day. So it was, I love that. I think that's one of my favorite times. But I do miss when Euro. I miss JD being the host. I miss when JD was the host. Like it was real good. His Mavericks takes and his Luka takes, all that back in the day. I mean, it's just a lot of good iterations of the show.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Players Choice. Shout out to the panel. All right, Davion, we're gonna get moving. We only got time for one more.
Appreciate y'all for letting me up.
Appreciate
you. Good talk to you, bro.
Yeah, Chip, we've definitely it's been a long ride. Now that I think back on it, it's the summer of 25. I finally got on the panel around the middle of the 23, beginning of the 23 season. I think
I showed up in the beginning of the 22 season, 21, 22. That's when I showed up. Man, it's been a long one because before that I was just on the Wednesday and Sunday show. I didn't come get with y'all on the panel till maybe like 8 months later. But yeah, man, those were good times, y'all. Really good times. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I gotta go first come, first serve. And it's Rock Out Deuce. Rock Out Deuce is the last one. Sorry to anybody else that didn't get up. Y'all know where to find us. Mm-hmm. Deuce, what's good?
What up, fellas?
What up?
Hey man, it's crazy. The same thing Rashad McCants said. I said to Ox on Twitter, and Ox basically told me, "Man, get the hell on with the best statistic point guard of all time." But yeah, man, I'm a big Russ guy. That was my first favorite player. He got me watching basketball when I was a kid, man. So I'm really, really high on Russ. But what I wanted to talk about was how high are y'all on Minnesota?
I think they could be back in the West Finals again next year. I do think.
Really?
I don't think that what I saw this year was an anomaly. I think that Edwards is going to come back better. I think losing to Gilgeous-Alexander Walker is going to hurt, but I feel like Nas is going to have a bigger role. I think Dillingham is going to be better this season too. And this kid Shannon is the real deal. He's going to help them.
Yeah, he is.
100%. He's going to help them. So I think Minnesota is going to be really good, especially in the regular season. So yeah.
What seeding you got them at?
like around 6, between 4 and 6.
Could you see him slipping up in the play-in?
I could, because again, the Western Conference is going to be serious, man. I could see a 45-win team not making the playoffs next year. I could see that happening. That's how good the Western Conference I think is going to be.
Yeah, because I think they're gonna slip up because I don't see them being better than. Okay, let's see. OKC, Denver, Houston, Dallas. I want to get into the Clippers, but just like you said, like you be wanting to get on that train, but
I was already on the train and it crashed. I got
and it crashed.
I ain't getting on that damn train.
We had to resurrect you. It crashed.
Y'all had to get y'all. I'm in the hospital. Y'all got me on the ventilator. Y'all had to bring me. You think I'm getting back on that train? No, I'm not. No.
Like it looks so good, and I want to say like they top 6, but it's tough. It really is, man. It really is, because that team looks so nice, dog. It do.
She gonna burn you again, Taj. She gonna burn you again. Go ahead.
She gonna burn. It's gonna burn. I'm not getting on it. I'm not gonna hop on.
Burn you again. She might have cleaned up her look a little bit. The dress looked nicer. The shoes look nicer. Nope. Your ass gonna be right back at the clinic again with her. Go ahead.
Oh,
your ass gonna be right back at the clinic again. Your ass gonna be right back at the clinic again. No, Ox. Go ahead. Your ass gonna be right back at the clinic again. Go ahead.
But I'm just kind of worried. I'm kind of worried about Minnesota. I think they're gonna still make the playoffs, but I think they're gonna slip up in the play-in because I don't think they're gonna be top 6. I don't think so. Hey, and the last stream I watched, the girl that said she was a Grizzlies fan, man, she wasn't SOB enough. She didn't stand on business enough. We making the playoffs straight up, man.
Yo,
hey,
Deuce, calling. That's crazy. Calling out Samaria is not standing on for the Memphis.
Like,
you got to stand on business, man. Chill telling us we 11th seed. I'm saying that we 6th seed, man. We gonna be the 6th seed.
And when I say she's standing on business, I'm talking like she's gorilla.
Yes, yes. Like for real.
Yeah,
that was a light day. That was a light day for her. You got to check her out on the Twitter Spaces or anything. She don't play about them Grizzlies, bro.
I got to tap in with her. I tap in with Grizz Twitter, man. You know it.
Yeah, she Memphis all day. Hey,
no doubt. But all right, Deuce. Claire is definitely blowing up the phone right now. She's in the
chat. I'm already knowing.
She's in the chat dealing with this bozo mic right now, but she's also multitasking and texting my phone.
I just had to turn my phone.
Gotta run.
I'm gonna hit y'all, man. Yes, sir. Good talking to y'all.
Good to talk to you, brother.
All right, dude.
Yeah, Claire just hit my phone. I had to turn my phone off because she hit me for the 3rd time. Like, all right, guys, let's go. Okay, all right, keep going, Claire. All right, cheers.
And on top, that's crazy that he said that because as nice and as sweet as Maria is, I done seen her cussing. I done heard her cussing people out about Ja Morant in the Memphis Grizzlies.
Get into a Ja Morant, Kyrie Irving conversation with her. She might come after you, like literally jump through the screen on you.
Real.
Yeah, get into one of them conversations. Well, I've seen her. Yep, I have seen her. So,
man, well, today was another great episode of Chill with Chill. We will be back on Thursday. I'm gonna be on playback a little later on, doing some summer league stuff. So y'all come back, get back. But wait. Tomorrow is the day. The press box is here. Sunday the 20th. Felt like it was so far away, and now it's just one sleep away. Y'all get up, wake up in the morning, turn on your laptops, turn on your phones, turn on your TVs, however you consume this YouTube content, and make sure you catch the press box. Because I know you think you're an NFL expert, but we got 3 NFL experts right here to learn you everything you need to know about the NFL and football in general. We got Swiper, we got Bama, and we got J-Rob. 3 of the biggest biggest football minds in the world. Y'all make sure y'all come check them out. They'll be there for your football consumption. Y'all make sure to come check them out tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. It's going to be one of the best shows concerning football that you can ever catch. You don't need to watch ESPN, Fox, and all that stuff. We got J-Rob, Bama, and Swiper right here on the Players' Choice Network. Make sure y'all come and check them out, y'all. Make sure y'all come and check them out.
We gotta stop bigging up each other because these other networks, they're gonna try to come steal us. We might have to chill out on that. They might come try to poach us away, but because we're so nice.
Well,
like
chill.
That.
As they say, today's price ain't yesterday's price.
It's not, yo. What it went for yesterday, it's not. That's not what it's going for today. Nope, absolutely not. So speaking of went, we got to bounce. Unfortunately, it was great to see you guys. Y'all know where to find us. So Thursdays and Saturdays, me and my big fella over here, we do it every Thursday and Saturday. Y'all know where to find us. We will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey man, call your mother. Last time you talked to your mother, I just talked to my mother yesterday. Call your mother, and if you ever in the Portland area, you had too much to drink, call my big fella up. He got you. He'll make sure that you get to where you got to go. So we will see you guys soon. Until then, take it light. Take it. Absolutely, man. It was good to see you guys today. No doubt.
Y'all know what time it is, man. We'll see y'all later, man. See y'all later. Don't forget, never, ever, ever drink and drive. See y'all later, man.
Don't do that. Do not do that. So